Yeah, it's Pimp and Mo coming at you with another Pimp Cup Sessions. In this video, I'm going to talk about the rules of white supremacy. I know a lot of foundational black Americans know about white supremacy and how, these suspected white supremacists work, especially at your jobs and your neighbors and, just white folks in general. White supremacy is a insidious system when it comes to foundational black Americans. We've been dealing with white supremacy since 1600s, even before the United States even became a country, even before it got its independence from Britain. We was living under the thumb of white supremacy, slavery. So it's been going on for 500 some years. But the modern day white supremacy has changed a little bit. It's cool to be a white supremacist. A lot of white supremacists are Trump supporters. A lot of white supremacists are, quote unquote Christians and Baptists and these other, they hide their white supremacy behind religion. But dealing with these people on an everyday basis, they do a little underhand tactics, a little slick dissing they do in front of your face. Rule number one of white supremacy, especially if you're working a job, these white supremacists might not be qualified to do the job, and they get the raise or the promotion anyway over black people, over foundational black Americans. That's rule number one of white supremacy. They get promotions over black people. They might not even be qualified to be the supervisor or the manager or the general manager of whatever place. They might not even be qualified, but they get ahead because they're white. And another thing to add to that, they also like to talk to foundational black Americans like we're uneducated, like we're dumb, like we don't understand anything. They know more than we do, like they're smarter than us. They really have a bad habit of talking to foundational black Americans like we're stupid or something. They really do have a bad habit at the jobs, like some of these jobs, they really do. I've seen that firsthand. They kind of just talk to foundational black Americans like we don't know anything, like we're uneducated, like we're stupid, like they're way smarter than black folks, and they don't have any degrees, they ain't went to school, they just naturally smarter than us. That's what they think, and that's one of the rules of white supremacy. That's what the rules they go by. Number two, we have rules of white supremacy. We can't defend ourselves against white supremacists. We get in trouble if we defend ourselves. There's a lot of cases where a black person then tried to defend themselves against a suspected white supremacist, and then we get in trouble for it. We can't even defend ourselves in the system of white supremacy. One of the rules, black people can't defend themselves. We're supposed to let white supremacists just talk to us, put their hands on us, and just we don't do anything about it. That's one of the second rules of white supremacy. The third rule of white supremacy, these anti-black racist police officers get to unalive black folks with impunity. That's another rule of white supremacy. These white supremacist race soldiers and these other white wannabe adjacent immigrants like the Hispanics and Asians and some of these other folks that that aspire to be white, they get to unalive black people, get to harass black people, and we can't do nothing about it. That's the third rule of white supremacy. And the fourth rule of white supremacy, let me get that out, is if a foundational black American is in an interracial relationship with a white person, whether it's a white man or white woman, that white person has the upper hand on the black person because we live in a system of white supremacy. It's a racial hierarchy. Let's say a black man and a white woman are in a relationship. They get in an argument. Somehow the police get called. The police going to side with the white woman. And the black man's probably going to go to jail. And the other way around, if a white man is with a foundational black American woman, the police get called. They're going to believe the white man over the woman. So, and these white supremacists that have little black fetishes, they know that the police get called. The police gonna side with the white man or the white woman in that relationship. And some of these black folks got to understand that we live in a system of white supremacy, and that these interracial relationships can go south. And these people still gonna maintain a system of white supremacy. They don't get confused about where they stand. They know they in a system of white supremacy, know they got white privilege. And a lot of black people don't understand that, till it's too late. I didn't been in interracial relationships, and I didn't seen that type of situation before. And I understood and I understand white supremacy. So I already know what type of person I'm dealing with. That was just for financial gains. And if I was in some type of interracial relationship with a white woman, or some type of interrelational relationship with somebody else, non-black, non-foundational black American, it's for financial gains for me. I'm not trying to date nobody outside my race just to be dating them if they ain't bringing shit to the table besides sex and race. They gotta bring me some money. Because I understand that we live in a system of white supremacy. I know these folks got the upper hand. If you want to have a little black fetish, you got to bring something to the table, i.e. some money. That's how you counteract the white supremacy. You got to make them bring something to the table, man. You got to make them empty their pockets, empty their purse, empty their wallet. That's what you got to do. Hey, you're going to have to pay. You're going to lay up, basically. Because they'll do it to us. The white supremacist females get with these basketball, football players, and then they end up taking them to the bank because they understand white supremacy. They end up getting child support money, alimony, all kind of stuff. They don't understand white supremacy, man. These white people get with you for financial reasons, financial gains. And some of these black people don't understand that. That's another rule. That's the fifth rule of white supremacy. That anytime you do get into a interracial relationship, these folks, if you do got money, they looking to take money from you and bring it back to the white supremacist community, bring it back to their families. It's another rule of white supremacy. The fifth rule. Look at Tiger Woods. He got in a relationship with some Swedish woman and had to pay her like $100-some million. She didn't have that much money when she met Tiger Woods. That's just one example. That's the rule of white supremacy. Michael Strahan had to pay his ex-wife some money, some red-headed white woman. He got two mixed kids. Holly Berry, she had to pay back. I don't think she had child support, but like alimony because of her little relationships with some French dude and some other dude. It's a lot of people that had to pay. A lot of black people that had to pay their non-black partners money, alimony. So there's a lot of that going on. And a lot of these black folks don't understand, no matter how much money you got, that we still live in a system of white supremacy. That's the sixth rule right there. Sixth rule of white supremacy. No matter how much money you got as a foundational black American, we still live in a system of white supremacy. Your money is not going to transcend white supremacy. Look at Kanye West. All that money he got, thinking he can transcend white supremacy, don't work like that. A lot of these athletes got a lot of money. Michael Jordan, he a billionaire and still can't transcend white supremacy. He still go through anti-black racism. There's a lot of athletes and actors who got money, still got to go through white supremacy. So there's a lot of other people I can name that went through some things. Ryan Coogler, about 5-6 years ago, he went to the bank and tried to withdraw like some money out of his account. And one of the bank tellers then called the police, and then he had to tell the police who he was and stuff like that. That's a part of white supremacy, man. And then Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo was at the BAFTA, I think. I think that's the name of it. And that white supremacists yell out the N-word. No matter how much money you got, how many accolades you got as a foundational black American, we still live in a system of white supremacy, man. Global system of white supremacy. No matter where you go, you can't outrun white supremacy. White supremacy is all over the earth, not just the United States. It's in England. It's every other country. Every country is anti-black. So, Yeah, those are 6 rules of white supremacy. There's more rules, but they're little, like, slight little jab rules when it comes to black folks with white supremacy. But those are the main rules. Those are the main everyday rules of white supremacy that black folks got to think of and got to memorize, man. And once it happened to you, that you won't, understand too late. I'm trying to let Foundation of Black Americans know ahead of time. I know some of the black people that already been through stuff like this, but, I just wanted it to be heard, let some Foundation of Black American man or woman know ahead of time before you get into these situations, for you can try to avoid the situations that I'm telling you about. I just want Foundation of Black American men and women to be on alert for these situations, and that what we can do about white supremacy is try to replace it with a system of justice. Let's get justice for these anti-black racist white supremacists, and that's going to be the step forward to ending the system of white supremacy. You can't be lazy with this when trying to end the system of white supremacy. You got to be. That's an everyday thing, man. Trying to end a system of white supremacy. That's the everyday, 24-hour, 365-day type of thing, man. You can't just fight white supremacy one day, then take a day off. You got to fight it 7 days a week, 365, 24/7. But it's been Pimp and Mo, a.k.a. Mo the Pimp God, coming at you with another Pimp Cup Sessions. I'm a holler.